Your dog's guilty look isn't guilt at all. It can sense the Earth's magnetic field well enough to use it as a bathroom compass. And one border collie learned over 1,000 words before she died. 50 facts about your dog, starting now. No single story this time. Just 50 real, specific facts about your dog's senses, its secret language, the wolf still hiding underneath all that breeding, its mind, and how it ended up sleeping on your bed in the first place. Stay for the very end, because the last fact is the one that actually explains everything else in this video. Start with the nose, because it explains more about a dog than almost anything else. A dog's nose carries somewhere in the range of 2 to 300 million scent receptors, compared to about 5 or 6 million in ours. And that gap is exactly why dogs can be trained to detect things we have no way of noticing on our own. Certain cancers from a breath or urine sample, a dangerous drop in a diabetic's blood sugar, or the subtle chemical shift that comes before an epileptic seizure, sometimes minutes before it happens. Hearing is nearly as extreme. Dogs can pick up frequencies well beyond what we can hear, and their ears are controlled by as many as 18 separate muscles, letting them swivel and pinpoint a sound's direction independently of each other, almost like a pair of satellite dishes bolted to either side of the head. Vision tells a slightly different story than most people assume. Dogs aren't colorblind in the way people often say, seeing only in black and white. They actually see a world of blues and yellows, similar to red-green color blindness in humans, but they make up for it with much better motion detection and far superior night vision. Depending on the breed and how far to the sides its eyes sit, a dog's field of view can stretch past 250 degrees, well beyond our own roughly 180. Dogs even have their own version of a cat's strange scent-analyzing organ, a vomeronasal organ on the roof of the mouth, though in dogs it shows up as a quick tongue flick or lip curl, rather than the dramatic, open-mouthed grimace you'd see in a cat or a horse. And in one of the strangest confirmed findings in dog science, researchers tracking thousands of bathroom breaks found that dogs prefer to align their bodies along the Earth's north-south magnetic axis while going, actively avoiding east-west, at least when the planet's magnetic field is calm and stable. Later studies found the effect isn't consistent in every dog or every situation, but under the right conditions, it shows up again and again, and nobody is entirely sure why. Move to how dogs actually talk to us, and the wolf underneath the fur starts to show through in stranger ways. A wagging tail isn't just one signal. Researchers filming dogs closely found the wag itself leans slightly to one side, depending on the emotion behind it. More to the right when a dog sees something it likes, such as its owner, and more to the left when it's confronted with something that makes it uneasy, like an unfamiliar, aggressive dog. Other dogs seem to pick up on that same asymmetry too, reacting more warily to a left-leaning wag, even when everything else about the situation looks identical. Eye contact runs deeper than it looks as well. In a study out of Japan, researchers found that mutual gazing between a dog and its owner triggers a rise in oxytocin, the same bonding hormone involved in the connection between a parent and an infant, in both the dog and the person at the same time. And the effect builds the longer the two hold eye contact. A play bow, front legs stretched flat on the ground and hindquarters up in the air, works almost like a formal announcement. Everything that happens next is a game, not a real fight, even if the actions that follow look rough. And barking itself is mostly a human-made trait. Wild wolves bark far less, and far less often than domestic dogs do. It's closer to a juvenile vocalization that most dogs never grow out of, likely retained and reinforced generation after generation, because barking is one of the few sounds that reliably gets a human's attention. Here's the one worth remembering, though. That classic guilty look, the tucked tail and lowered head a dog gives when you come home to a mess, has been tested directly, and it isn't guilt at all. In a now famous study, dogs that hadn't touched a forbidden treat looked just as guilty, sometimes more so, as dogs that had eaten it, as long as their owner scolded them. The look tracks your tone of voice and body language in the moment, not any memory of what the dog actually did earlier. Dogs, it turns out, are extremely good at reading us. Reading themselves is a different story. Underneath the couch sleeping and the begging for scraps, there's still a predator's brain running the show, just heavily edited by thousands of years of selective breeding. A wild wolf's hunting sequence runs through a specific chain: search, stalk, chase, grab bite, kill bite, then tear apart and eat. What selective breeding did to dogs, generation after generation, was pull that chain apart and keep only the pieces useful for a specific job, breeding the rest almost entirely out. Herding breeds like border collies keep the eye, the stalk, and the chase, the exact posture and intensity you'd see in a wolf closing in on prey. But generations of breeders selected hard against the grab bite and kill bite that would naturally follow. So what's left is a dog that can stare down and herd a flock of sheep for hours without ever meaning it any harm. Retrievers were shaped around a completely different fragment, the grab bite alone, refined into what trainers call a soft mouth, built to carry something back gently instead of finishing the sequence at all. Terriers, bred originally to go after rats and other vermin, kept far more of the full sequence intact, which is exactly why a small terrier can seem so much more single-minded and intense around small, fast-moving animals than a retriever ever does. That same underlying wiring shows up in behavior that has nothing to do with actual hunting. A dog chasing a jogger or a passing car is triggered by the same fast motion cue that would trigger a chase in the wild, completely disconnected from any real intent to catch or hurt anything. Digging traces back to den building and food caching instincts, and the sudden, frantic sprint around the house or yard that so many dogs do, often right after a bath, has an actual name in behavior research: a frenetic random activity period, thought to be a release of pent-up arousal that doesn't have anywhere else to go. None of these breeds are more or less wolf than any other. They're all running the same ancestral sequence, just cut into different pieces and pointed at different jobs. And that's the real reason a border collie, a golden retriever, and a terrier can look at the exact same moving object and react in 3 completely different ways. None of that instinct would matter much without a mind that can actually learn, adapt, and remember at a genuinely impressive level. Dogs form real attachment bonds with their owners, structurally similar to how a human infant bonds with a caregiver. In controlled tests, dogs use their owner as what researchers call a secure base, exploring a new, unfamiliar space confidently when their person is present, and becoming visibly more cautious the moment that person leaves the room. Dogs also track what a person can and can't actually perceive. In experiments involving a forbidden piece of food, dogs were far more likely to sneak it when their owner's eyes were closed, covered, or turned away than when they were being watched directly. Which means a dog isn't just obeying a rule, it's actively reading whether it's currently being observed. They dream, too. Dogs cycle through REM sleep just like we do, complete with twitching paws, muffled barks, and rapid eye movement. And most researchers assume that's the dog's brain replaying pieces of its day, the same basic process behind human dreaming. Then there's the Border Collie, who broke the scale entirely. A dog named Chaser, trained patiently over several years by a retired psychologist, learned the names of 1,022 individual objects and could fetch any one of them correctly on command. She didn't just memorize sounds either. Given a completely unfamiliar word alongside a pile of toys she already knew by name, she could work out through elimination which unfamiliar object the new word must belong to, and remember that pairing afterward, a skill called fast mapping that's considered a real milestone in human toddler language development. It's worth being honest, though. Chaser was one specific, intensively trained dog, not a demonstration of what every dog is secretly capable of. Her achievement says less about the average dog's hidden vocabulary and more about just how high the ceiling can go under the right conditions. Zoom out, and dogs have one of the strangest and least settled origin stories of any animal on the planet. Genetic estimates for when wolves and dogs first split apart range anywhere from roughly 15,000 to over 30,000 years ago, which makes dogs very likely the oldest domesticated animal there is. But researchers still don't agree on exactly where it happened, or whether it happened once in one place, or independently more than once. What is fairly clear is that the wolves involved came from a population that no longer exists today. Modern gray wolves are dogs' closest living relatives, not their direct ancestors. Some of what makes a dog look like a dog might not have been deliberately chosen at all. In a famous Soviet-era experiment, researchers bred silver foxes for one trait only: tameness around humans, generation after generation, with no interest in appearance whatsoever. Within a few generations, without anyone selecting for it, those foxes started developing floppy ears, curled tails, and patches of white fur. Traits now referred to as domestication syndrome. It's a strong hint that some of a dog's most familiar features may have arrived as an accidental side effect of selecting for a calmer temperament, not a deliberate design choice. Whatever the exact mechanism, the outcome is unmatched anywhere else in the animal kingdom. No other domesticated species covers a range even close to a Chihuahua on one end and a Great Dane on the other. All one species, entirely shaped by human hands over thousands of years. The oldest verified dog on record, an Australian cattle dog named Bluey, lived to 29 years and 5 months, working cattle and sheep for most of that life. But here's the fact that actually explains everything else in this video. When a person points at something, dogs instantly understand what that means and follow the gesture, even as very young puppies with barely any exposure to people. Chimpanzees, some of the most cognitively advanced animals alive and far closer to us genetically than any dog, mostly don't get it at all. Even wolf pups raised by humans from birth, given every environmental advantage a dog gets, still perform far worse on this exact test than dog puppies do. That gap only makes sense as something domestication itself selected for, not just tolerance of humans, but a genuine inherited readiness to treat a human gesture as meaningful information worth acting on. Cats, as we covered a few episodes back, came to us mostly unchanged, still built almost exactly like the wildcat that first wandered near a grain store 10,000 years ago. Dogs took the opposite road. Somewhere in thousands of years of living alongside us, they were quietly rebuilt, generation after generation, specifically to understand us. 50 facts, and the thread running under all of them is that a dog's most impressive trait was never really its nose or its bite, or even that 1,000-word vocabulary. It's the willingness, wired in over thousands of years, to treat a glance or a pointed finger from a completely different species as something worth paying attention to. Nothing else on the planet does that quite the way a dog does.